Bass in the fishing world. It's a very broad term. If you're from New England and live on the coast, you probably mean striped bass. On the other hand, if you live down in the Amazon basin, you could mean peacock bass. If you're from Alabama, you might mean spotted bass or even white bass. Same surname, different critters. In Florida, chances are you're talking about big old black bass. In Michigan or New York, the word bass could refer either to largemouth or smallmouth. Obviously, there's a lot of crossover in the varieties of fish called bass across the continent. Today, we're going to talk about largemouth and smallmouth. Many watersheds support these two species, and some in abundance of both varieties. The trick to consistently catch blacks or browns is understanding the fine points of the different fish's personalities. That's right, they got a different personality. Each species has its own particular likes and dislikes. Call it attitude for lack of a better term. And the better you understand the attitudes of each, the better your bite will be.
A little bit better.
There's some simple facts on natural lakes like we're fishing today that separate a largemouth from a smallmouth. First off, smallmouth are not nearly as negatively affected by unstable weather. Simply put, smallies don't appear to care that much about a weather change, especially in spring. Largemouth bass, on the other hand, if the weather goes south, they can be knocked for a loop. The so-called black bass is more temperamental when it comes to cool or cold water, and it takes them longer to recover from a cold front. Secondly, largemouth are considered more of a cover-oriented fish. They prefer being in weeds or wood if given the opportunity. Smallmouths will use cover as well, but they tend to prefer sparse weeds and rocks over thick weeds and tangled wood. Thirdly, smallmouths have an overall general preference for slightly cooler water than the largemouth and tend to be found in areas of the lake that fit that profile. Fourth, there is a timing difference in their spawning cycle. Smallmouth will come into shallows well before the largemouth and are generally more aggressive earlier. Fifth, smallmouth are more abundant and operate better in clear water environments. Largemouth, on the other hand, are more abundant and operate better in darker, dingy water. Again, I would like to stress that we're talking about largemouth and smallmouth in natural lakes. When it comes to rivers or reservoirs, that's a whole other planet with a whole different set of rules.